Welcome to The Young and the Restless. I'm Olivia.
I'm Victor.
And I'm Zach. And this is the podcast where you can shear a sheep with your mind.
Now I lay me down to sleep. I dreamt I had a soul to keep. And if I die before I wake, will that dream just go on for its own sake?
Watch F video interviewing small kid. He talks about whatever. The toaster mom is there. She interjects about how she heard thebe things his mom said to him when he was a baby, and she thinks that must affect him even though he was a baby. Victor is showing me this video. I'm in ut bed office,
Am I having
not
a
our
stroke?
room. It's messy. I think I get that thing where he is blurred with Nick. He says something about the video being about how aggressive babies turn into aggressiva teens sus. I see the interviewer crossing names of kids off a list. I'm learning into a stroller hugging a little boy. End parentheses.
Aggressivata.
It's really hard to type at 3 a.m.
That's when you wrote that.
I think so. I don't remember writing it, but it happened last night.
3 a.m. is witching
No.
hour. Maybe it wasn't you. Maybe it was a demon that wrote it.
Maybe.
The toaster mom is there.
Yeah, stop giving demons your phone password.
Oh, I just can't.
Or
They're
letting
just so cute, though.
them possess you and then writing on your phone with your mortal vehicle.
They're always
I
like,
don't like that as much. They can have the password, just not my body.
All right, what were you saying, Victor, about something about something? Do you remember?
Oh, yeah. What were you saying about something about something?
oh yeah. We try when we feel like we see it coming to avoid getting into dreams where we're not gonna feel comfortable unpacking them, right?
Mm.
Or that's something that has been on your mind lately, because we don't want to spend a bunch of time analyzing a dream and then be like, sorry, we can't talk about it,
Right.
guys. And so Olivia this morning was like, oh, we got an episode. What am I going to talk about? Oh, can't do that dream. Oh, I can't do that dream. I think I know what that's about. Not going to do that dream. And then she was saying the other day that like the dream Bible, it's like you can search for symbols and then find their meanings. And she was like, I wish there was a way you could search for meanings and find symbols. And I'm like, you motherfucker, you're trying to write fake dreams so you don't have to get into
No, that's not what it. That's not.
She's not really.
That's not the
She's
spirit
really.
of the podcast, Olivia.
She wouldn't do that.
I wouldn't do that.
Is that a
I don't need to do that. I have other dreams I can do.
is that a bottle of wine in your hand?
Yes.
We must be doing a heavy one today then.
I mean, if we're gonna get into it,
But no,
Do you have anything, Zach?
speaking of drinking, that's how I approached it. Like, there was that one, the episode that
Episode.
just came out, as of recording this, was the one about with my drinking dream, the PCP vape dream, and yeah, I remember. I think I dodged it 1 week because I kind of like I had just figured out what I thought it meant, and I wasn't ready to talk about it. But I took a week to think about how I wanted to talk about it, like how I wanted to articulate myself around that topic. And I mean, some topics maybe you can't do that in a week. You might need like several therapy sessions to get there. But I was happy with the way that turned out.
yeah, that was a good episode. I think so. What the thing that I keep seeing, or I guess like there are symbols that are alluding to something for me, and that's that I keep seeing, like, I keep having beach dreams, and that in particular seems to be about, what is the dream? Can you pull up the dream Bible thing for that?
I went through a phase of
beach?
beach dreams.
Yeah, it seems like what that means is that there's like stuff that you're not conscious of.
Oh, really? I thought
That is, or like you're standing on the conscious side, and like the water is like.
Yeah, I was gonna say I
the
remember it being like a
unconscious.
precipice kind of thing. Like you're on the verge of something, but it also kind of depends. Like, remember I had a couple dreams where like there was a tide coming in that I thought was going to be like a tsunaami, but it turned out to be like a gentle little splash, and
I had the opposite dream of that last night. But so that's the thing, is like, it's not that I'm necessarily like not willing to go there. It's these dreams seem to be about something that I'm not like fully aware of yet.
Mhm.
And then I'm not sure how I feel about like becoming aware of what it means on the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we can always cut stuff, but
We can. Yeah.
Should I read the beach entry?
Sure, yeah. Why not?
To dream of the beach represents a time in your life when you are confronting negativity or facing uncertainty. It may also represent a transition from a familiar setting to an unfamiliar one, confronting a current difficulty, confronting a hard reality after first believing you wouldn't have to. Negatively dreaming of the beach may be a sign that you are confronting a serious crisis moment in your life, possibly a sign that you are not doing enough to take a serious problem or crisis seriously enough.
Oh, and I also just remembered another recurring theme, a recurring symbol in my dreams lately has been ice. And that it straight up just means like repressed memories.
that makes sense. That's a solid symbol. I had a beach dream it was like the beach of Lake Washington, and it was super upsetting. It was like the most upsetting dream I'd had in a while. Just the imagery in it. I don't know what it means. But yeah, so you're
going to be cryptic about it?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we'll get into it. I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
All right.
So your concern is less about like getting too personal and just more about like you're worried about making bad content because you won't know what you're talking about. And then if you
that's part of it.
If you figure it out on air, it might be too personal, but it might just also be sloppy because you're figuring it out for the first time.
Yeah. Yes. Agreed. I mean, yeah, that's how I feel.
Gotcha.
I feel like because I dream so rarely, I'm doing all of this on a delay for you guys. So like you guys have already gone through the phase where you're sharing a dream where you're like, oh, that was weird. That was, I wonder what that means. And then get hit with like, you know, the school bus of what it actually means a couple of times. And you're both now at this like veteran stage where you can be like, oh no, I can see a troubled dream a mile away. I'm not getting into that, or I'm gonna time it right where before I do that on the podcast. And I'm over here like, guys, I had the weirdest dream last night. I can't wait to share it with you guys.
Oh yeah, Victor had a weird dream last night.
I had a weird dream.
Oh, you did?
Yeah,
Yes.
he did. I love when Victor has a dream.
Yeah.
That creeped me out.
Yeah, mine was
Shouldn't
creepy
have.
too. And mine was short. Let's do that.
Short,
podcast.
creepy dreams.
Welcome to Short and Creepy.
Just your Tinder bio.
I am 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
I didn't deny the creepy part though.
I wasn't talking to you, more like the
The listener.
yeah.
You're all
I was
short
talking
and
to-
creepy.
You short creeps.
The royal you. That's what, you know how some podcasts have like a word for their fan base. Like You Made It Weird with Pete Holmes. They're called weirdos, the listeners.
So are the morbid podcast listeners are also weirdos.
Oh, okay. Ours are short creepers.
Short creepers. I mean, obviously they're dreamers though, right?
I
Sweet
think
dreamers.
Sweet dreamers.
Yeah, that's cute.
Oh yeah, speaking of the alcohol episode that just came out, a buddy of mine texted me. He's like the most on top of it. He's like waiting for episodes to drop and listening to them like the second they do. which is precious.
love
God bless
that.
him.
Which is precious. And also interesting because he has like ADHD and told me that like podcasts usually don't agree with him. Or it's hard for it to like for a podcast to keep his attention like that. But anyway, he texted me when that one dropped to be like, elephant in the room finally. He didn't say that in those words. He was very sweet about it, but he was like, I thought you were going to talk about that in episode 1 remember my episode about pooping in the liquor store?
Oh, yeah.
He was like, the metaphor, it was right there. You didn't. And I was like, to be fair, Victor and Olivia know me now. Like, he knew me back when I was drinking like a fish.
Pooping in liquor stores.
Yeah, pooping in liquor stores. Because they said it plays only in the bathroom.
It's funny. Like one of our friends was talking to us about the podcast recently, and like they're also like keeping up and really excited about new episodes and whatever. But they were saying that it's like it was nice to be able to like skip the part of listening to a new podcast where you're like getting to know people, getting to know their voices. Is like, that is like, I didn't have to do that. I know you two, and like you guys know Zach, so it's just like it worked out.
Yeah, I always have to Google image the podcasters if I start getting into it where I'm like, okay, now I'm hooked. I have to go to Google Images and see what they look like before I like live with the wrong image in my brain for too long. Because then it's weird.
And that's why we're inviting each and every one of you to come stay with us January 27th through the 29th in our home. You'll get to know us, each listener personally. Address in the description.
Don't do that.
Weekend getaway slumber
We
party.
don't want this.
No, it's
Meet and
fine.
greet.
I've made the decision. We're doing this.
Oh,
It's not a very
meet and greet and
not a
sleep.
very Victorly decision.
We do a dream summit.
A meet and creep.
Meet and creep. We all sleep in your home and then discuss our dreams over breakfast.
I don't care how short or creepy you are. You're welcome to stay here as long as you'd like.
You guys are gonna get stalkers.
We already told them our city. Like, I think the name of the city that we live in was on an episode, and I'm like,
I
it's
think
a town of 6,000 people.
Well,
I'm probably one of 2 Olivias here.
I think
They didn't catch it. Don't remind them.
I won't tell them where it is. They'll have to go listen again.
I think I bleeped it, didn't I?
Nah.
It was you bleeped like Seattle, so it
No,
was like,
no, I bleeped.
You bleeped the place that we used to work.
Yeah.
But you didn't bleep the place that we currently live,
Yeah. Well, I already
which is fine.
forgot what it was. Of course, I'm not a
Briar.
I'm not a stalker, so I'm not. I probably would have retained that information if I was trying to watch you sleep.
oh man, this podcast really needs to not take off now. That could be
Yeah.
a problem.
Yeah.
We're all gonna get Mark David Chapman.
I've been waiting all day to hear Victor's dream.
Yeah, I haven't told her anything.
Let's do it. Go, 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 go.
Okay.
No pressure though. No pressure, but go, 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 go.
But text me for deets on that sleepover that we're planning. Sorry.
Victor's number is
It's
There's
222
a few of them.
222 222 pound sign? I don't know.
because Victor runs a cab company.
Seattle area code's 206. I bet you can guess the next, 7 numbers.
Okay. I titled this one apparently Double. I'm in the kitchen cooking something. I, myself, Victor, walk in and try to grab a little snack from the stovetop. I shove my hand away. I watch myself walk out to the living room. This registers like a ghostly experience so far. I yelled to Olivia that I just watched myself walk into the kitchen. She says, yeah, I didn't like when he did that, meaning she saw it happen in the living room too. I turn back and the dogs are going for a drawer, so I stop them. They're like trying to pull open a drawer, like get something out of it. And then my doppelganger walks into the kitchen again and goes for the damn stovetop. I push myself, and then I grab myself, and I start choking myself. And as I'm like choking this clone of me, it goes all limp and like doesn't put up much of a fight. And while I'm choking it, its neck gets thinner and it goes limp and is like flipping around. And every time I stop choking it, it starts coming back to life.
Oh.
And I choke it until I think it's dead, and its neck is like totally stretched out like taffy. And it seems like kind of like faceless and shriveled. And I take it upstairs and I toss it on the ground, like near you, like kind of in our working space or whatever, because I think it's done. And then it starts like coming back again. Like I can see it starting to like revive. And I don't know what to do. And then I have an idea. I yell, YouTube, to Olivia. And she yells, YouTube.
YouTube to YouTube.
And then she runs off trying to find a camera while I try to keep the thing in check. And then I wake up. And then I have like post-dream notes that the dream felt super real. The dogs and Olivia all were acting like themselves. I felt like it was like a ghostly or supernatural experience. And once I attacked the thing, I was stuck in kind of a stalemate where as long as I was holding it, it was harmless, but it would escape if I turned my back. It never said anything, and it creeped me out, but it wasn't like threatening in any way. I never tried to hurt anyone, and it really creeped me out, and I like didn't go back to sleep for like an hour.
That really creeped me out. That was very creepy.
I think it was about masturbation.
I think it was about your relationship with our cat.
You grabbed yourself and choked yourself, and you went limp.
Choked the chicken.
Mm-hmm.
I was picturing like a rubber chicken at a certain point.
It did kind of. Yeah. Yeah. No, it did feel like that kind of thing where like my brain, like we've talked about how like dreams can feel improvisational at a certain point. I think I like caught my own brain off guard with like attacking this thing. And then I was just kind of stuck in this situation where there was nothing else to happen. My brain didn't know what else to do. And then the YouTube thing was very much like like I caught a cryptid or like I caught a ghost, and it's like what?
And that is what we would do.
Yeah, it's because I didn't know what else to do. It was like, well, at least I have proof of a creepy thing that I can try and like document and like prove something.
What did Olivia do after you said YouTube to her? She got a camera? Was that?
She was on the same page as me. So like she was running off to try and find something so that we could start to document this thing while I was like in charge of trying to keep it disabled.
My favorite part is when I say, yeah, I didn't like when he did that.
It's like what the message I got from that was like that I had just seen a ghost or something. And then I tell you about it and you were like, yeah, I saw that too.
Did this feel like, I don't know, something about this reminds me of dreams that have, I feel like I've alluded to the alien cats over and over again in this podcast, but we haven't actually talked about the alien cats in an episode. But it reminds me of the alien cats that sometimes show up in my dreams where they're like very creepy and they feel like supernatural. Like, did it feel like it stuck with you in a weirdly vivid way? Like, because when I've had dreams like that where it feels like I ran into some weird dream shit, it keeps me up. Like, I'll wake up from that and I'll not be able to go back to sleep because I'm so freaked out.
Yeah, it did feel like that. It didn't necessarily feel like there was anything like you've described the cats, your dream alien cats as like feeling like outside of your dream or like like some other entity that's not supposed to be in your dream. I didn't have that feeling with this thing, but it was very creepy. Like I said, I didn't go to sleep for like an hour, and I kept like kind of feeling like I was gonna see this thing come around a corner at any time
while you were awake, though, right? Yeah. No, but that's the thing, though, is that like I can have a really scary dream that is frightening, but then once I wake up, like it was just a dream, and it's like that feeling goes away really quickly, and it creeps me out when I have that feeling stick around as if it.
Yeah, it reminds me of childhood, because that when I was a kid, that would happen with every nightmare. Like I would wake up and be scared for like a while, but since adulthood, it has been like, oh, it's just a dream, except occasionally.
Right.
And you said part of what disturbed you was like it, because it didn't do anything, right? Like it didn't do anything aggressive. Like it sounded like like you were disturbed by the fact that in the dream you were the aggressor.
It was like
that's how I took it.
It was an interloper. I kind of reacted to it the way I mean, I try and save spiders sometimes, but like sometimes like if you see a bug in like just the wrong place where it's like I have to kill this immediately.
Yeah.
It was like it was creepy in the way of something had like invaded my space in a way that like I could not stand, and I had to react to it.
Just wanted a snack, didn't it?
It did. Yeah, it was just trying to get a little snack.
Yeah, but like no.
Yeah.
I don't like the deflated neck thing.
Yeah.
That's really creepy.
It was really weird.
Yeah, the creepy part to me is that it would come back if you stopped.
Like,
so it seemed like you're
blow up again.
Like it's easy to win, but it's relentless.
Yeah, and it was like slow. It wasn't like immediately it's fine. It was like I could see it kind of reforming into me.
It's like it follows, where it's like it moves slow, so it's easy to get away from, but it's relentless. Like it'll never stop. Like that's the scary part.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. It was like, well, there's no solution here. But I think at the point where I was yelling YouTube, I was kind of more concerned about like it getting away. Like I didn't think it was going to continue to bother me in this instance, but it was like I wanted the problem solved, and that was not an option.
Would you look up choking in the Dream Bible? Also, actually, I don't think you're allowed to read your own Dream Bible entries for your dreams.
Is that a rule?
So, yes, we made that rule. Okay, so kind of the first and the second paragraph. So, to dream of being choked represents emotional suffocation, feeling unable to express yourself at all or make your own decisions. To dream of choking someone else represents your disinterest or hostility to someone else expressing themselves. It may also be a sign that you don't want someone else's ideas considered at all. Positively, it may reflect your attempt to cut off negative thinking patterns that are stifling progress. Okay. Did it feel like it didn't feel like that? I don't know. Did it feel like that thing was you?
No, it wasn't me. It was like a
doppelganger.
Yeah, it was like I know that it was a physical thing that I was interacting with, but like ghost feels more accurate.
Let's look at ghost.
There is an entry for doppelganger too.
Let's look at them both.
But I don't know, is a doppelganger like a physical entity or is it a ghost?
I think if ghost feels more accurate, I think
it's worth looking at both of them. Yeah. But yeah, I came away from it feeling like, ghost resonated.
To dream of a ghost represents issues from your past that are unresolved and still affect you. Painful memories, guilt, unfulfilled romance, people you can't forgive, hate, anger, or embarrassment. A problem that still haunts you. Jealousy from the past that you can't escape. People often dream of the ghost of a deceased loved one after a murder or violent death. This is most likely a reflection of their feelings about the tragedy that haunts them.
Those are just actual ghosts.
Yeah.
That's not a dream at all.
There's to dream of being a ghost.
Oh, to dream of being a ghost represents your feelings of being unable to do what you wanted. Something sacrificed your spirits, hopes, and wishes, and left you feeling incomplete or unsatisfied. Feelings of being completely overlooked and ignored in life.
Well, that part sort of tracks with the choking stuff, with the like, suppressing an expression. I mean, like those things together make me think of the Redneck Willy Wonka dream.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that this maybe is like a work dream for you, but let's look at doppelganger too. To dream of your own doppelganger. To dream of your own doppelganger represents your concern about being misrepresented or replaced. Feeling that someone may take over in your name. It may also reflect your feelings about being helped behind your back. Not liking being spoken for, someone representing you in a dangerous manner without your permission. Negatively seeing your own doppelganger may represent self-reflection over your negative actions. Shocked to learn that you did something bad or unpleasant, like hearing a story about yourself drunk or snoring. Feeling framed or set up your feelings about a lie told about you.
I only snore when I'm drunk.
It says, alternatively, seeing your own doppelganger may represent jealousy or feeling stupid that you didn't do something for yourself first. And I think maybe that resonates. I don't know. I guess hearing these things, I can think of things in my life that feel like they connect to some of these things, but I'm not having like a feeling of like, yes, that's it. That's what the meaning of the dream was. It's like,
they're not.
I can take these symbols and put them together into something connected to my life.
Right, but kind of like broadly.
Yeah.
Like they don't coherently point at one thing.
Right.
I thought of the Redneck Willy Wonka dream because some of the stuff in these entries made me think of like conversations we've had about music and creative stuff in the past, and the the like artistic drive to always be doing it, but then also the artistic self-sabotage of being like, well, who am I to like spend my time, creating? You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think, what this is bringing up for me, or the like talking about these symbols is bringing up for me, is like I guess I've off and on experienced like a frustration that, just as part of being an adult and like working a full-time job and having adult responsibilities, I don't feel like there's enough time to do the things that like I care about or interest me or matter to me, I just feel like I'm just like barely able to like eke out a little bit of time to work on the stuff that feels like it's constructive for me as like a in like a fulfilling way,
Mm-hmm.
So those couple of dream Bible entries, that's what that made me think of as like my strong desire for more time.
Yeah.
How did you feel like the ghost stuff related?
Yeah, to dream of being a ghost represents your feelings of being unable to do what you wanted. Something sacrificed your spirit's hopes and wishes and left you feeling incomplete or unsatisfied.
Yeah.
Yeah, that feels connected to what I was just saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking when I said that this felt like a work dream, because I feel like that it's tied in, right?
Yeah, well, I think work feels like a barrier between me and the things that I care about doing in some ways, in that like, I'm sitting at a desk working at, doing XYZ when it's like, I would love to be playing music, or, we keep talking about wanting to be able to travel, and it's like, I just can't find a way to make that work. Yeah.
Even though you work from
Stuff
home,
like that.
you're still working from home, right?
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, I could do a working vacation maybe, right? Where I'm sitting there for, yeah.
It kind of is like, why spend the money though to travel?
Yeah, I mean, anyway, I feel like this is pretty normal, or like pretty relatable. A lot of people are, don't have the time to do the things that they really want to do. That's how I feel lately.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that interpretation makes a lot of sense.
Big
for
old
you.
bummer. Real downer.
So do you think the doppelganger ghost was like a bad thing then? Because I don't. It almost feels like the way it's laid out. It's like that was like representative of the things you would like to be doing, but you're like choking it out and suppressing it because you're
No, it kind of is.
because you're like I don't have time for you, but it just keeps coming back. It's relentless. It's like no, you need to.
One of the
make
things
time.
that we've like kicked around as a project that the two of us have thought about doing was like a found footage horror thing in the form of like a YouTube channel kind of thing. Or we were talking about like ARGs and stuff. Like it's in line with that. So it's like it's just funny that like that came up that way because that YouTube is maybe the thing that we would want to be doing with our time, right?
Yeah, I suppose.
Or
I don't know.
like
I guess for me that felt more like I'm the kind of we watch a lot of horror movies and stuff, and I find like cryptid stuff interesting, and it's like the thing you always think is like fuck, like document it, get it documented.
Right.
And I think something for me in that moment because of all of that like frustration watching movies or whatever is like now's my chance or whatever.
Yeah,
could
no,
also
that makes sense.
be emblematic of like if this thing is your drive to do stuff besides work and you're choking it out because you're like no I gotta work when you do have like a moment it makes sense that you would be like I need to capture this, document it, put it out there, you know what I mean, to like preserve that expression. I don't know if that makes sense.
I mean I can kind of see it in like okay so I'm cooking well let's look up cooking in the Dream Bible.
Yeah, the only reason I made that initial connection though is because that what like the thing that we were kicking around with like a YouTube channel was literally like, oh, these people are being haunted in our house by a ghost and they're documenting it and putting it on YouTube. Like it's literally that, you know.
Yeah.
Well, there's your premise.
Do you want to read the cooking entry?
To dream of cooking represents an experience or a situation that is being prepared. You or someone else that is getting ready to do something, the potential for something to happen. You may be making plans or organizing something, careful planning.
Yeah, I think that connects to this here. So, again, it doesn't like, I don't know that I'm like getting a feeling where it like clicks for me, but like I'm starting to like intellectually see how this connects of like, okay, cooking, I do very much feel like I'm always like in the preparation phase of getting to be the version of me that gets to do the stuff that I want to do and has the time that I want to have, you know, and I spend a lot of energy trying to, figure out how I'm going to get there. Right. So like if you have me preoccupied with preparation, and then you have another version of me float through, like unattached to anything. That's just like, I'm just going to snag something that you're working on here and dip out, you know? Yeah, that could be connected to like a tension I feel within myself between my responsibilities, practicality, like day-to-day life that I'm committed to, versus like, you know, the things that I wish I could be doing if I didn't have to worry about any of that stuff.
Yeah, totally. You look like you're going to say something, Olivia.
Well, okay. So I was looking at if this isn't clicking for you, and this might also not click for you, but that's fine. Thinking about choking, so choking someone else represents hostility towards someone else expressing themselves. And if the ghost is like issues from the past painful memories, guilt, then you choking the ghost is like hostility towards that expressing itself.
Do you think there's something there?
I mean, it's kind of I feel like you're the only one who can say if that feels true. I'm only going off of that because you said that you're not getting the clicking feeling, you know?
Yeah. Man, I feel like the weird thing with our release schedule right now is that we're constantly listening to episodes that we recorded a couple months ago. So like that's front of mind for us. So it's like our episodes are slowly becoming like, oh, let's do episode 13 is always going to be about what we listened to on episode 9. Yeah. Episode 14 is always going to be like, hey, remember episode 10? That kind of feels like the rhythm that we've gotten into. But we were just reviewing an episode before release where we talk about me wrestling with like some past stuff or whatever. And yeah, so it's possible that like listening to that episode planted something in my subconscious that then came out as a dream about like a tension between, you know, maybe some unresolved trauma and versus a me that is like you know, trying to operate in a way where like I'm not burdened by that, right? Yeah, so that's possible that it's like that's the tension there, you know. I mean, I guess what it seems like is like the surface level interpretation is like I have some inner tension, right? Some inner like conflict, and I acted that out as like a violent encounter for whatever reason, and then the end result of that was not like me overcoming this other side of me or whatever. I ended up in this weird stalemate situation where there was no overcoming the other side of me. It was always going to come back.
And the best thing you could do was to document
it. Right. Which is what art is all about, isn't it?
Yeah. It is suffering. Yeah. Art is suffering. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. I think if there isn't one thing happening in your life that's like dominating your subconscious or like piercing through it, it makes sense that your dreams would tend toward like your overall state of affairs and your feelings toward them. That's why I have like so many work, like every dream I do is just about like wanting to move, being frustrated with the like slow progress of my career. And it's rarely about like one specific inciting event. It's just the state of affairs.
I think this is very much the same kind of thing, right? It's like I'm in a place that I'm in, and it's not bad, but like I have aspirations for something else, and I am constantly wrestling with frustration that I haven't achieved that thing yet, whatever that would look like.
Okay, so the other night I had a dream that there was it took place at Lake Washington, which as you're well aware is like, it was in the summertime, so it's very busy, very active in the summer. A lot of people hanging out on the beaches. And I don't know if they actually have, do they have lifeguards out there?
It depends.
They have lifeguard towers. But anyway, in this dream...
Yeah, probably sometimes.
In this dream, a lifeguard was... I caught a female lifeguard kidnapping a child. It was like she saved him from the water, but then like ran off with him. And I followed her, and I don't remember the like pursuit, but I remember where it ended up is in this like auditorium, almost like where you might see a play. And she was on stage. And this is the really fucked up part, trigger warning. She was on stage, and the audience was full of parents, and she had the child up on almost like a lifeguard tower behind her, facing away from her, with like a rope around its neck, and she was holding both ends of the rope facing the audience, and she fucking like did this. I know listeners can't see what I'm doing. She's like jerking her fists forward so that the rope would snap the child's neck.
Oh my God.
So like in the dream, it was very vivid, like the way it whipped back, and then the whole crowd cheered. It had the feeling of like, you know, that movie trope where there's like a detective or whatever trying to solve one crime, and they uncover like that the whole town is in on it. Because I remember trying to like call the police or like put a stop to this, and everyone was like, had this attitude of like, what are you doing? This is what we do. This is what our town does. You're the outsider. You're like, they were upset that I was causing a ruckus about this.
Yeah. That's it's interesting that you both had like
Choking.
yeah, choking.
Neck related injuries. Yeah.
Yeah, that's grim.
Yeah. But it had this whole like circusy atmosphere to the proceedings. It almost felt like a culty kind of like sacrifice ritual, but for like entertainment purposes.
I'm just plugging in dream Bible entries.
Child, lifeguard.
I miss child. That's a good one.
Because yeah,
I think children are ideas, and that it's a different type of idea if it's a boy or a girl.
the victim was a little boy, but I got the impression that this was a regular event, that she was snatching children all the time.
So I've got lifeguards, children, audience, neck, sacrifice, and cult. Is that a good place to start? Is there anything else I should?
I think those are probably in
cult
the order
dreams.
of most relevant.
Okay.
The way you said them.
All right. So lifeguard. To dream of a lifeguard represents behavior that responsibly prevents others from going overboard or becoming overwhelmed by an uncertain situation. Keeping others from hurting themselves, an emotional backup plan or safety net to stop you from drowning in your problem. Correcting a situation if it doesn't stay safe. A choice or option that allows you to escape emotional hardship. Objectivity that never allows you to completely succumb to a problem or feeling that something is permanent. Confronting an uncertainty or a negative situation responsibly, making sure someone else doesn't go too far or get embarrassed by facing their problems. Awareness of potential dangers, precautions being taken. Negatively, dreaming of a lifeguard may also reflect you or someone else that is responsibly allowing others to break the rules without going overboard, making sure dangerous behavior. To dream of expecting a lifeguard to save you may reflect your expectations that someone will responsibly intervene on your behalf if you get overwhelmed by a problem.
Yeah, not a lot about a lifeguard like actively doing the opposite of what they're supposed to do.
Doing harm, yeah. Was the kid swimming at some point?
Yeah.
She did save the kid, right?
I think so. I don't remember feeling like the kid would have. It felt more like a kidnapping.
So is the swimming relevant, do you think?
Maybe that's where it started. Yeah, in the lake where everyone was swimming.
Were you swimming?
You know, at the beginning it felt more third person, like I was watching a movie.
Okay.
And then once I got to the auditorium, I was I was like a character.
I think let's put a pin in swimming because we got a lot to look at. We've got children. We're not looking at your real life children. If you have more than one child in real life,
No.
to dream of children that aren't your children. Negatively dreaming of children may reflect feelings about yourself or others being helpless, powerlessness to overcome big challenges. An experience that prevents you from facing difficulties because problems are too big. Alternatively, from a negative perspective, children may reflect problems that are out of control. New developments that are becoming frustrating, feeling like an innocent victim, vulnerability.
I think the boy entry might be a little more relevant here. It's a separate entry.
From child?
You have
Yeah.
to dream of a child dying represents a loss or unpleasant change to some area of your life that had potential. Positively, a child death may reflect a growing problem that has finally been dealt with. Okay, let me look up boy. To dream of a boy represents a masculine aspect of yourself that is developing or inexperienced. Assertiveness, anger, dominance, or insensitivity. A part of your personality or situation that hasn't reached its full potential yet. Any of this clicking at all for you so far?
Not really.
Yeah. Okay, so just to recap, negative dreams of a lifeguard reflect you or someone else that is responsibly allowing others to break the rules without going overboard. And then it says, making sure dangerous behavior. So I don't know. Usually I try and work around Dream Bible typos, but I don't know what to make of that sentence.
Making sure of yeah, I don't know.
It's like they didn't finish the thought.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I can. What were the other symbols you had pulled up?
We've got children, which represent ideas, habits, or developments that have potential, and dying children represent a loss or unpleasant change to some area of your life that had potential. And then boys specifically represent a masculine aspect of yourself that's developing or inexperienced. A part of your personality or situation that hasn't reached its full potential yet.
Yeah, I don't know. I might be trying too hard to tie it into, like, I don't know. It's not bringing up anything specifically, but I do know I had this dream. I've been having a lot of financial stress lately, like just not knowing how I'm going to like make bills and stuff because my kind of freelance work it's a slow season. And, you know, coming off the holidays, I traveled. I've just been super stressed about money. And I had this dream while Shelby was here. She came to visit. And in the like 4 or 5 days that she was here, every waking moment was super pleasant. And I wasn't thinking about those stresses. But every single morning, I woke up with like tension in the back of my neck. Like I immediately woke up stressed. And this dream happened one of those nights.
Yeah.
And I know that stress in the back of my neck, like the thing that I'm like actively like constantly worried about while I'm awake is money. Mm-hmm. So I think maybe I'm trying too hard to like tie it into that. 'Cause I'm like, it has to be that, you know, but that's like working backwards because it could be something totally different that I'm not seeing.
It definitely could be that, though. Yeah. I feel like the lifeguard entry so far feels like kind of a red herring to me. I don't feel like there's anything there. I kind of want to keep chipping along at what we're doing. Audience. Should we check out?
Sure.
Audience. Negatively dreaming of an audience may reflect issues with showing off or making people pay attention to you. Showing off with lies or unprovable claims, problems with accepting something that will make you jealous if you choose to stand by and allow it happen, jealousy of someone else getting more attention than you. To dream of being part of an audience negatively may reflect feelings of jealousy that you are powerless to control a situation and must watch only. To dream of being part of an audience negatively may reflect feelings of jealousy that you are powerless to control a situation and must watch only, feeling forced to watch other people win while you lose, jealously watching other people achieve things that you can't achieve, a dangerous situation that you are choosing to watch instead of attempting to stop it by getting involved.
Well, that feels,
that last sentence feels like what was happening there.
Well, and I was trying to get involved, but everybody was,
yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But
you were turning to other people. You were asking other people basically to do something. You weren't like hopping up on stage.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, I could be like grappling with a feeling that like I have caused this stress by virtue of not having like a more reliable job situation.
Neck. Let's read that.
Yeah. To dream of a neck represents the interface between your thoughts and feelings. What you feel and what you actually choose to do in life about those feelings. The connection between your thoughts and actions. often a symbol for your total commitment to a relationship or situation. Negatively, next symbolizes issues, where you may feel one way but act in another. Sacrifice. To dream of making sacrifices or giving up something. Negatively, making sacrifices may be a sign that you are giving up too much to eliminate something undesirable from your life. Oh, wait, we have a ritual sacrifice. That's more accurate. Yeah. To dream of a ritual sacrifice represents something in your life that is being completely given up for a greater cause. Giving everything you have to a person or situation, you may feel that a very big change you are making is special. There's somehow, inexplicably, no negative for ritual sacrifice.
Yeah. It's always a good idea.
And then negatively, a cult may reflect diluted ideas or points of view that are dangerously never questioned. Giving up your individuality for the sake of someone or something that you feel can't be judged. It may also be a sign that you feel the negative aspects of a person or situation are being ignored due to manipulative tactics. Feeling that alternative ideas or choices are not allowed. Feeling that someone or something is too possessive. A lot of concepts here.
Unquestioned devotions to ideas, people, or situations. Yeah, I had like several cult dreams in a row a little while ago, which was interesting. Yeah, does any of that connect, Zach?
Yeah, kind of similar to Victor's dream, where it's like I think a lot of stuff resonated like generally with my situation, but like I'm having a hard time articulating specifically why. But
that's okay.
Yeah, because I have this one job that is exciting, but it's only a couple days every couple weeks. But it's probably going to turn into something more solid in the future. That's the hope, anyway. So I'm really working around that to like that's why I don't just go and get like a whatever job to pay the bills. You know what I mean? Like I've been relying on this on freelance stuff to fill in the gaps, but I get to make my own schedule with that. But that's dried up, and I'm about to start like a more regular job tomorrow that I did not want to get, but because it's Monday through Friday, it's going to be very hard to work to have the two work together. But it's like I have to pay the bill. You know what I mean? Like I have to to do this thing that I don't want to do that actually might get in the way of like bigger future success, more exciting future success.
Yeah.
So like that all feels like everything that we've read feels like it plays into that situation. But it's hard to articulate why.
What I'm getting from what you're describing there is that even though like you're doing the best you have with what's available to you, it's still it has the feeling of maybe feeling like kind of a bystander in your own life, of like, because you are just like doing what has to be done to survive. You don't get to like, make a choice. You're not allowed to make a choice here, right? Or you don't feel that you're able to make a choice. And so you're just kind of like watching things play out in maybe a way that you wouldn't like them to, where like if maybe this new job gets in the way of this cool opportunity, you feel like, well, what was I supposed to do?
And like you maybe feel like you're having to sacrifice like the new opportunities and potential opportunities and new ideas and which that's what children are, right?
Yeah, I think that was part of it.
So you're sacrificing the children. That kind of makes sense.
Yeah, well, and the lifeguard is, which I feel like what I'm latching onto with that is like that's like responsibility and safeguarding. Mm-hmm. Like that is so. Yeah, I feel like I can like build a narrative here where the sacrifice that's happening or that I'm worried will happen with this new job is that the need for survival, the lifeguard, is going to actively destroy the new, young, exciting thing. And the audience, the cult, is like capitalism. That's like how society's built, so it has to be this way. And they're not going to accept my objections.
You're the only one that sees the value in the child.
Yeah.
Right.
And the neck entry too is like the neck is like the connection between your actions and your emotions, or your feelings and your thoughts and your
Right.
actions. And it was like negatively, the neck is like where you may feel one way but act
Oh
in
shit!
another.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she's breaking that that barrier, or not the barrier,
Yeah.
the freeway between
Uh-huh.
the
Right.
brain and the
That
heart.
all actually makes a lot of sense.
It does. And so that actually brings the lifeguard entry kind of into focus.
Mhm.
Like, where negatively dreaming of the lifeguard may also reflect you or someone else that is responsibly allowing others to break the rules without going overboard. Which to me feels like this opportunity that you have, that you're excited about, and that you're like twisting your life around to try and like
Accommodate.
keep going. That is the thing that like you're being allowed this, this excess or this
Mhm.
dream or whatever. You're being allowed like that treat,
Mhm.
as long as you have the rest of your ducks in a row. You're paying your bills and you're working
Mhm.
your job that you don't want to work. You get to keep that little nugget of hope. And then there's the threat of that being just like crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of a downer night tonight.
Checks out.
It was a lot like your dream. I do have
Yeah.
like a specific scenario, which is this new job that I'm starting like tomorrow.
Right.
But it's about the same thing, like this ennui and dread and fear of like just being stuck in the machine forever and never getting to like move on to bigger, better, more fulfilling things.
Yeah, I think that you and I are kind of in that same boat, and it's just, it looks a little different for you and me, but we both have that same urge or that same drive to try and reach this place, but it's like, it's hard. It's really hard.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like you'll get there sometimes,
Yeah.
Yeah.
40 hours a week is a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a third of your life, and then another third is spent sleeping, and then that other third is like, you got to do the dishes sometime, like that other third disappears so quick.
Where do your dreams come from? And what do they think really mean? What do they think really mean?
Oh shit, the other night, Shelby was here on Friday the 13th, and we tried to go get tattoos. I have a couple Friday the 13th tattoos, but I got them back in Denver. This is the first time I tried to do it in LA, and we stood in line for 6 hours.
Oh, wow.
And it was around 1 a.m. where I was like, fuck this.
Wow.
Oh my God.
more-
6 hours.
The more time pressed on, the more I was like, well, it's going to be dumb if we leave now. Like, after about 3 hours,
Sunken cost.
after about 3 hours, I was like, well, the tattoo's permanent. If this takes another few hours, like, we've already been here for 3, so it would be like,
Could you tell how close you were
well,
at any point?
that's the thing. Once 1 o'clock rolled around, it was clear that like we're not getting out of here before like 3 or 4.
Oof.
And I had work the next day, not till like 10 or 11, but it was still like I'm getting too old to see the sunrise.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like I just knew it was gonna ruin the next day.
Staying up till 1 a.m. ruins the next day for me.
Yeah, the next day was rough. But while we were standing there, my lower back was flaring up, and I was telling Shelby that I fell on my tailbone when I was 19, and ever since then, road trips, like something about sitting in a car for too long will make it hurt, and something about standing for too long will make it hurt. And she was like, "Well, you probably broke it," and I was like, "This whole time I thought maybe I just bruised it or something."
Yeah, you might have broken it.
Then I was like, yeah, for like after it happened for 3 months, I could lay supine or I could stand up straight, but anything between was like screaming agony for 3
So
Man.
I'm gonna tell
for
you
3 months,
about
and
like,
she was like, yeah, you definitely broke it.
oh yeah,
And this whole time I thought I've never broken a bone.
no, you probably broke that. Yeah. I saw this treatment recently that like a lot of people swear by. And it is like coccyx realignment. Like you're like, because we do sit a lot, and for most people that in and of itself does a lot of damage. But if you've had trauma there to that area, that's like a whole other thing. The way this is done is that the doctor has to go in through your butt with their hand
I don't like this.
to like realign your tailbone. But like I saw this video and all these people were like, yeah, I feel like a brand new person. Like absolutely changed my life. Totally worth it. So
almost got my certificate.
He failed the test.
Yeah. But you can just keep retaking them, you know. So writing down answers every time.
It's multiple choice.
Maybe I'll roll that in with my, when they check for colon cancer. What is that called? Colonoscopy. I'll be like, hey, while you're in there, can you reset my tailbone?
Okay, now trust me. Here's what you need to do. You need to pull down. No.
Yeah. If you could reach round.
Just like 2 degrees. 2 degrees out, please. I'll slip you a hundo.
Yeah, I tip.
Sir, I'm an anesthesiologist.
It doesn't change my question. Do you or do you not do happy endings?
And this podcast, or this episode, needed a happy ending, didn't it?
Hey-o.
Thank you for listening to The Young and the Restless.
You can follow us on social media at The Young and the Restless Pod and submit your dreams for interpretation to theyoungandtherestlesspod@gmail.com.
And as we always say, hot dogs are disgusting, but spam is good, actually.
Eat you a tiger